What is up everyone, today we're showcasing a double fighting line with two of the most underrated fighting types for the current Open Great League meta, Shadow Machamp and Toxicroak. I barely see anyone run these anymore, but I think they're still super strong, and even stronger now that Araquanid is here. Araquanid is being brought as a anti-fighter most of the time because it does beat like the main fighters in the meta. Machamp and Scrafty both get dunked on by Araquanid, but Machamp and Toxicroak don't. And that gives him some really nice opportunity to core break a lot of teams. A very common core we see with Araquanid is Araquanid plus Steel, or plus Stunfisk, plus Registeel. And Machamp and Toxicroak beat both the Steel type and Araquanid, which is just super nice. Some teams are even triple weak to like a Toxicroak or Machamp. It's kind of beautiful. Besides that, Toxicroak and Machamp have a lot of play versus the other like common fighting answers that are being brought. For example, Sableye. Machamp and Toxicroak both beat Sableye in some shield scenarios or with like a counter advantage. You have a very good chance against Sableye where Machamp just doesn't. Trevenant. Toxicroak actually beats Trevenant. If you get one counter lead, you beat Trevenant in the ones. It's insane. That's something Machamp would never dream of doing. Alolan Ninetales, no problem for Toxicroak. Well, it is problematic, but you win that in the ones if you bait with a Mud Bomb. Like I'm saying, Toxicroak is just super good. Machamp against Alolan Ninetales, you can Rock Slide that, it's basically dead. You need to get shields down, but, you know, Machamp doesn't even stand a chance there. So, I think these two really good. I'm just going to showcase them right now. Second game, we lead it to a Galarian Stunfisk, which is not that great. I switched to Toxicroak, which is generally my safe switch in this team, because there's more like Trevenant in the current meta than Flyers. If there are more Flyers in the meta, you should switch Machamp because then you can Rock Slide them. In this match, I really wish I safe switched my Machamp because I would have been able to Rock Slide the Pelipper. I didn't though, so I just had to opt for a Sludge Bomb, which unfortunately didn't kill the Pelipper, but that's fine. I can summon Lickitung now. Lickitung still isn't the worst matchup versus Galarian Stunfisk. It's not great, but I can still Power Whip it, which does a good chunk of damage. And at this point, I'm just hoping it's like a Sableye in the back, because with two shields, Machamp does fine against Sableye. Ends up being an Azumarill though, which is not too good. That is really not too good. If I was a Scrafty here, this would be awful, but luckily I'm a Machamp. And these Rock Slides actually do a ton of damage on his Azumarill. This thing is already in the yellow, and I'm really hoping I can get off another one here and kill it before he gets to another move. I go for the Cross Chop expecting the shield here, but my opponent doesn't shield it up, unfortunately, and I get to another move at this point. I'm just going to shield up my Machamp once again. They're going to throw an Ice Beam. I think at this point, I might be able to farm this down. Just barely. I farmed down Azumarill. I was very afraid. I had two Cross Chops there, but I was very afraid that a Rock Slide and they would just throw immediately. If they throw immediately, I only get off one of my Cross Chops. So my goal here is to switch out, make them kill my Lickitung. If they throw an Earthquake on my Lickitung, they're not at a Rock Slide just yet. At this point, I'm just going to hope they kill my Lickitung here, and I can fire my two Cross Chops back to back, take a shield, take the health. But they actually undercharge the Earthquake, they farm me down 2 Mud Shots. Do they have it? No, they were still one off, and that final Mud Shot came through during this Cross Chop, which means they have the Rock Slide loaded now, but since I win the CMP tie, I get to the second Cross Chop, and we delete the Galarian Stunfisk. GG, that was triple hard counter. Well, kind of hard counter, because G-Fisk versus Lickitung is of course kind of playable, but the Pelipper versus Toxicroak isn't great, and Machamp versus Azumarill also shouldn't be great. But we still won that matchup because, you know, Shadow Machamp just kind of counters through everything, which is just ridiculous. Anyway, next lead, we have a Swampert, which is quite, well, it's okay for Lickitung. I go straight for the Power Whip, and you're gonna see that this actually isn't as good as you want it to be, because I do have a Grass move, but look at this. They've already brought me into the red just using one shield, and if I want to get off my next Power Whip, I'm going to have to shield this up, which I will, but this puts me in a quite vulnerable position, because they would have been able to maybe catch Swap there. Luckily though, I didn't throw. They're bringing the Talonflame though. This is not great. Luckily though, I have a Machamp here, which can Rock Slide this bird out of the sky. I can't go straight for it though, because if they shield, I'm not going to reach another one. So I've got to go for the bait here, but my opponent calls it, which is just super bad. Luckily though, that still does a ton of damage, and I get to another one, which should be able to kill the Talonflame unless they shoot it up, which they do shoot it up. And they actually threw their move as well, which is very good for me. That's very good for me. They're now energy dry. They're 3 incinerates off the next move. If I can kill this in 8 counters, I should be able to farm him down. And I do farm him down in 7 counters, actually. That's great, because that also means I take 1 less incinerate of damage. In comes Sableye. Like I said, this really isn't too bad for Toxicroak. The Shadow Claws are adding up, but I have Mud Bomb, which is pretty good, nice coverage here. 1 doesn't kill, 2 also won't kill, but it will put him deep into the red, into a range where I can likely lick it down with Licky Tongue. In comes a Swampert here. I'm not going to let him farm down my Toxicroak, so I straight up power up this into Oblivion. Bye-bye. And now we should be able to farm down this Sableye, and that's another good game. Galarian Stunfisk lead again. Go into my Toxicroak, and in comes Deoxys. Now this is the downside, alright, of a Toxicroak, of a Machamp. They don't do as well versus Deoxys defense as a Medicham or a Scrafty would. Yeah, it's not great. I'm just gonna let this go. This will kill my Toxicroak, of course. I bring in my Licky Tongue here. Lick it all the way down. They've already thrown a Psycho Boost. Whatever he throws now won't do that much, because their attack is already dropped. They throw another one. I don't care. I'm a Licky Tongue. I'm super bulky. I can take this easily. Yes, not even in the yellow yet. And I have a bunch of energy here, which is good. I'm going to instant switch into my Machamp, though. Into the Stunfisk, hoping they don't realize it. And I get in a couple counters, but no, they're super quick on the switch. In comes a Trevenant, and I cannot beat this. If they had switched in their Trevenant versus my Toxicroak, I might have actually had a shot there, though. But they were smart and brought in their horror counter, the Deoxys there. So it was over. GG, well played by my opponent. All right. Nidoqueen into my Licky Tongue. I don't love this as Licky Tongue. And also, since I'm playing this like kind of ABB, I gotta switch out at Swamp. Oh my god, they have Earthquake. They did so much damage. Yeah, now nothing of my Licky Tongue is over. So I said I was playing like ABB. Well, I'm kind of just hoping they don't have answers to fighting in the back. Which with Nidoqueen is usually the case. Usually they have like double dark. Licky Tongue dark, maybe Warrine plus dark. This time they have Swampert though, which is not great. And they also catch a move on this Altaria. So we're not looking too hot here, because they do have a flying type. They do have a flying type. And they also no-shield that Sludge Bomb. If they had shielded that, I might have been in a decent spot, because then I could have just double Rock Slid this thing maybe with my Machamp. But, you know, they didn't shield that. So now they're in like an awkward health range. I'm just gonna go for the Body Slam here, which they do shield up. At this point, they're like in a range where counters per Crush will KO, so that's good. Problem is, they have some energy. I'm squishy, I can't take too many Dragon Breaths, and the Swampert has energy too, so I kind of gonna throw as soon as possible here. I'm gonna shield up this Hydro Cannon, of course, because it would take out my Shadow Machamp. Gonna go straight for the cross up here. If they let it go, they'll probably die. If they shoot it up, I can just throw another one, win the CMP. Should be good. Actually, I do 2 more counters. Good over farm by me, realizing they weren't at the Hydro Cannon yet. CMP tying with them here on the second Hydro. Taking them out. Do I get to another cross drop? I do reach another cross drop before they hit the Sky Attack, and this should knock out the bird right here. GG, Machamp really coming in clutch. Alright, Mandibuzz with Air Slash kills all 3 of my Pokemon, alright? It is not good for me. Very, very, very not good. Luckily though, I do have it aligned to my Licky Tongue. This is not a great matchup. Mandibuzz will definitely win this, but this Body Slam spam is definitely gonna add up to a point where I will be able to farm it down with one of my fighters later. If they stay, and if they switch out, it could be quite problematic, and they do switch out. I bring in the Registeel, which is quite nice for my Shadow Machamp. Alright, here's downside number 2 of a squishy fighter like Shadow Machamp. The Cross Shot would not have KO'd yet, and the Focus Blast would have. So you have to actually lose the zeros there. You have to shield. And I think I might have been able to farm down there. I think I made a misplay. I think I might have been able to farm down the Registeel there and had a lot more energy here. But in the end, it's not really going to matter anyway. Since this Mandibuzz is just going to get to a move. And this doesn't kill me. Does it? It doesn't, no. I think I might have, I'm not 100% sure, but I think I might have been able to farm down there at the Registeel. It would have been very close though, would have been very close. I think I switched a little too late for that. But yeah, like I said, squishy fighters do have to shield a move from Registeel generally, which is of course not too great. Just like a move from Stunfisk. Because this Earthquake will kill. That's the downside. That is definitely the downside of these squishy fighters, but overall, they've performed so well. They've performed so well. You kind of, you know, you have a weaker matchup versus steel types, but you have a stronger matchup versus other stuff, like a Sableye, like flyers, like grass types, a Toxicroak, which is a worthy trade-off in my opinion. I was really hoping I'd survive this this body slam, area ways, but I don't. Yeah, I have a Lickitung here. And they won't survive a body slam. I go for the power whip though, because I'm cheeky like that. I want to show dominance. And stay with the body slam here, because I would not have been able to lick him down. GG trader. GG. Beat the core breaker. Alright, Bastiodon in the lead is not too great for me. Really not too great for me. But I bring in Toxicroak, they stay in for way too long. That was insane. It was really insane. To bring in the Sableye now. Actually, that Bastiodon staying in is kind of painful, because they brought me into a range where Foul Play plus Shadow Claws will KO. So that's not too great. Also, I kind of don't want to use shields here. Or more than one shield, because I want to keep my my Machamp shielded. So I'm actually just going to let this go. Since they brought in Sableye versus my Toxicroak and it took him that long, I'm not expecting something in the back that can really hard wall Machamp. Like maybe it's, I don't know, Venusaur maybe? Venusaur. If it's Venusaur, that might be fine for me. It might be fine. So I'll bring in my Machamp instantly, expecting the Bastion to come back in. Hello, sir? Yeah, there it is. In comes the Venusaur, and I didn't get enough of an energy lead here, unfortunately. Well, Machamp actually wins this in the once if you hit the bait. If you get 2 counters worth of energy lead, you can not bait. But I didn't get that, so I went for the bait, and oh man, I didn't bait, and he no-shielded it. Oh, if there would have been a Rock Slide, I would have won this game. Can I counter it down before it gets another move? I cannot, and I unfortunately will lose this match. All came down to a single bait. If I just baited that correctly, I definitely would have won, which is unfortunate. I know my Lickitung can't take out the Bastiodon, so I'm just going to concede, make it a little quicker for all of us. So GG. Alright, Skarmory lead. Also another core breaker for the squad. Technically beats all 3 of my Pokemon, but in reality, Lickitung gets very close there. Machamp gets very close there. Toxicroak gets kind of owned, but you know, it's fine. Just get your Machamp or Lickitung up on there and you should be okay. I think Machamp also just technically wins the ones there. Even though you're a fighter versus a flyer. I know, it's insane. It's insane. Cross shot plus counters are just too oppressive. I go for a Sludge Bomb here. It actually does more than a Mud Bomb. Even though this is double resisted and Mud Bomb is only single resisted, the Sludge Bomb does more. So if you can only get to one move with Toxicroak versus Skarm, throw the Sludge. It can win you the game. That has definitely won me a game before. So yes, do that. Anyway, I'm bringing my Machamp here versus the Flyer. Since I'm expecting another... Why did I do this? Why did I do this? Oh, I was expecting Medicham in the back. Yes, I was expecting Medicham in the back. And Lickitung is actually fine versus Medicham. So, yes, that's what I do. I expect a Medicham. I still shield this up though, because even if it's Medicham, like this energy on Machamp will go somewhere. It doesn't end up being Medicham though, it's Swampert. So, yeah, I'm actually super fine there. This is actually better than Medicham. Though, even if it was Medicham, I think Lickitung would have been able to take it out. Unless it's Power Punch or Dynamic Punch. Lickitung loses to Dynamic Punch or Power Punch Medicham, but versus like Ice Punch Psychic, it wins. So, yeah, Medicham, not really the Lickitung counter you would want it to be. Anyway, that was the final game. Hope you enjoyed these battles. Hope I showed you some of the power Machamp and Toxicroak can have. I definitely recommend you to try them out. I think they're super strong in the current meta. I didn't get many games first or rock with it in, unfortunately. I don't know why, no one was running them. But if you do face one with these fighters, just know you win that matchup, alright? Anyway, thank you very much. See you in the next one. Good luck with your battles, trainer.